Hi everyone, I am Brittany, the Cosmic Lunar Soul. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back to all of my subscribers. Today I have a flip through of the Muci Dark Reflections Tarot deck. So they have a few different decks. I purchased this on Amazon for about $55 US. I'll put all of the information and the links below. But let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so I kind of known about this creator or this brand Muci for a while. They are the ones that did the Pantone deck, which is really cool. They kind of had like a not artificial reality, but sort of whatever that's in between is reality deck that came out called the Pantone deck, and this was another one of their decks that they created. I've kind of loved it because of the box. For a while, I just couldn't bite the bullet on it, and I mean it was no fault of the deck or anything like that. Anyways, I'm rambling. But I recently backed one of their Kickstarters that's going on right now. If you're watching this, like as this video is being released and not like a year later. I'll put all of the information in the description. But I backed the Wandering Dreamscapes, which is their new tarot deck, along with this sort of travel kit. And I've realized I really enjoyed traveling with some tarot decks. So yeah, I backed it. Anyways, let's get on to the Dark Reflections. I mentioned already that this retails on Amazon at the time of this recording for about $55, a little less by a few cents. The box, gorgeous. It has this like really nice rose petal and glossy embossing finish. It is a magnetic closure, which I really like, and the back is very simple. It just says Muci. It says, the brand, the website, and the copyright. A cute little like fox embossing here. And then, the embossing down the sides, tops, and the bottom as well. So, we open up the box and we have this little quote here, which is also, this is foiled. You can read this here as I hold here, or you can go back and pause a little bit. We have the guidebook, which is a nice size. I can't wait to dive into this. Also foiled. And then we have the deck. So the box has this awesome tab. I like when magnetic swing top boxes have the tab in it. Otherwise, you kind of have to turn them over and dump them out. But I like having the tab. I can pull the deck out, which it's a little hard on camera. So sorry, guys. Not the most sexy unboxing there, but we have our little tab here. The inside of the box is very plain other than this quote here. And yeah, nice simple box, but I will say it's very sturdy. You see that it doesn't give too much, if at all, in any of the directions. So if this is a box you want to travel with, then this will travel very well. I will say for magnetic swing tab boxes, they travel well if you put them in a pouch. If you plan to just toss them in a bag, I do recommend putting a little like rubber band around them, just to be sure that if the magnetic thing catches on something, it will pop open and could slide out. So just as a reminder. So let's go ahead and look at the guidebook. The guidebook, I mentioned before, has this lovely foiling on the front and the back. The back has the copyright and website and stuff. Let's open her up. The pages have this nice, really, hold on. It has a really good book smell as well. So the pages are slightly glossy. They're that like gloss book smell that I remember from childhood. We have a lovely, simple table of contents here. You can tell by the thickness of it that it's going to be a very short book. It starts with shadow work. That is the goal of the deck, so I'm happy that they included that. It's basically about shadow work spreads, majors, and then the minors broken up into suits, and then the bonus cards at the end. So this just explains, what shadow work is, how does it work, what can happen if you repress it, how to predict shadow work, or how to practice shadow work rather, and what are some other methods that you can use. So I really appreciate that. If you're trying to learn in depth about shadow work, don't expect that from this guidebook. That's not what this is about. But I do appreciate if you are active in the shadow work realm and you're looking for spread ideas, this guidebook is perfect for that. So we have the basic 3-card spread, but focusing on shadow work. So this is what shadow behavior is preventing me from moving forward? What work must I do to uncover and resolve shadow work behavior? What parts of myself must I be prepared to face in this work? And it goes on from 3 spreads, 4 spreads. We have different 4 spreads here. And then we have the just legend of how to read the cards. So here we're getting into the majors. I will say, since this book is it's fully illustrated, so you have the card illustrations, and then it is also fully colored, so you also have the colors of them. So you can use this book kind of on its own without needing to use the cards as well. But what I really like and what I want to point out is that, and I'm sorry that it's kind of blurry, there's shadow traits to explore. So while this deck is based off of the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, its its goal is to be a shadow work deck. So I appreciate the fact that the guidebook actually reinforces that. So what I mean by that is, we have the Fool card here as an example. We have the name of the card, what the card represents. We have the number, ruling planet, and the element. And then we, as I mentioned earlier, we have the shadow traits. We have the challenges when repressed, and then growth opportunities when accepted, and questions to ask oneself. So that's kind of how the majors are set up. Let's go and see how the minors are set up. Okay, we have the introduction of wands here. I've mentioned this in some of my other flip throughs, but I really appreciate when the minors are given the same dedication and focus in a guidebook as the majors. And for a book this small, I was worried it wouldn't, but you still get a full page spread. You get the exact same layout as you do with the majors for the minors. So we have the name of the card, we have an image over here, we have sort of just a quick blurb about the card, the number, the signs that it represents, and then the element. And then we go in with the same exact breakdown at the bottom. So this suggests that shadow traits to explore, challenges when repressed, growth opportunities when accepted, and then questions to ask. And that is how all of the minors are laid out. So this is a great book if you if you don't have the chance to pull cards, you can always use this in sort of a bibliomancy kind of style and flip through it and see what you get. So I mentioned before that there are some extra cards. We have 2 cards, and we'll look at that in more depth in the flip through, but we have the shadow card, and then we have the light card, and then here we just have, a quote from Carl Jung, which is I guess I'll call him the forefather of shadow work. and a few blank pages, and then the end. So lovely guidebook. It's quite informative. Honestly, I was very suspicious with how thin it was, but I really like how it's laid out, especially for a shadow work deck. So I know if you see my other flip throughs, I kind of have like criticalities about like having keywords and stuff like that. But because I bought this deck to be a shadow work deck, I appreciate the forefront of that information versus how I would generally want it. So let me set up for the flip through. I'll get the cards out. We'll go through the flip through, talk about the cards and the artwork, and yeah, be right back. All right. So, as you could probably tell, the cards have a much darker connotation, I would say, to the Rider-Waite-Smith. So in the artwork, you can see a lot more macabre type images. more so the darker aspects to everything. But what I really like, so you can kind of see the color scheme happening if I fan this out. We have our majors, which are a little neutral. They kind of have like a purpley gray kind of vibe. And then we have our, so this is our world card that ends our majors. And then we get into purpley, like this purpley kind of vibe from the wands. We have this blue here for the cups. We have this yellow for the swords. And then this is actually green. I know my color schemes are a little off with my camera, but the green is for pentacles. You can see here with the deck, I don't know what happened here, but there's like this gap here in between, which means there's a slight curvature in the deck. Doesn't matter because I'm a riffle shuffler, so I will work that out. But if we look at it, we have, it's foiled on the edges. They're finished, but they're not like a gold, like a gilded foiling. It's more of a black foiling that's going on here. Not a mirror finish, which I appreciate because honestly I'm really rough with my decks, so I'm okay with that. And you can see that on all sides. The backs of the cards mimic the deck box here. Look at that foiling, lovely. Kind of it's basically a spider web. So let's see how this shuffles. These cards have a coated matte finish. So they're not too thick, not too thin. I would say they're solidly average. I would say for the overhand shuffle, very nice. Let's see here. With the riffle. Let's do that one more time. I kind of screwed that up here. See if I can riffle and bridge this. So it's a little on the slightly thicker side of average, I would say, which makes bridging it a little more difficult if you have smaller hands like I do. But if you notice, I have melded in that brick there in the deck. So I will say Ruffling Shuffle has its benefits. So this deck is quite lovely. I'm not sure what I would pair it with. If you have gone through my other flip throughs, guys, let me know what deck you would like to see this paired with, and I'll do a quick reel for you guys and see. But I really like this deck. I really like the artwork. And surprise, surprise, this is going to be the deck for Spooky Month. So if you're joining me on Discord for our monthly or daily challenge, our monthly challenge for October, I'll be using this deck here. All right, if you enjoyed this flip through, make sure you give me a like, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos, and I will catch you in the next one. Otherwise, check out my other flip throughs, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.